Okay, here we go. Now you can see I'm wearing a mask, right? I, I'm ridiculing this mask wearing stuff. Fogs up my glasses, makes it hard to breathe, um, traps whatever virus is in the air, traps it so you're breathing it all the time. Yes, yes. But this is the way things are going. And pretty soon you're going to be required to wear a mask anytime you're out in the public. And there are a lot of things that are going to change. Uh, for you younger folks, you don't really know the difference, uh, but there's going to be a lot of change. And in order for you to understand um, about that change and why it's happening, uh, you have to understand something about economics. Um, I, I don't I, I don't know if this is going to be well received or not, but um, the thing is that once you get past reading, writing, and arithmetic, um, uh, there are things that you study in school that have absolutely no relevance and no factual basis in society in general, other than indoctrination. Um, but my opinion is that one of the things that you should learn early in life is about the economy and economics. Um, now, uh, the economy is a very, very simple thing. There are only three things in this world, three venues of wealth in this world, and that's natural resources, the processing of natural resources, and the services provided to the production of those natural resources. Um, and we're going to get into things like break-even analysis, Keynesian consumption functions, um, the stock market, the bond market, governments, uh, all that kind of stuff. But there's no sense in talking to you about those things unless you understand the basics, just like math, just like reading or writing. It doesn't do you any good to go to church and to listen to someone's interpretation of the Bible if you can't read the Bible for yourself. And that's the fundamental of the public school system in the United States, is to read the Bible. Um, so, once you have those basic skills, reading, writing, and arithmetic, now you can read and you can interpret data. And then you're able to make up your own mind. Unfortunately, in our country, we have become so dependent and oblivious to how big the government has gotten and how out of control the banking system is, the medical system, the educational system, any kind of public services. And the only way that you can understand why that is happening, how that has happened, is to understand economics. Economics is not complicated. It's just like, the previous video. I do have to go make an aside here. I've been having a tremendous difficulty getting these videos onto this YouTube channel. They suspended my account, um, and they made me wait 3 to 5 business days before they'd even consider letting me post anything on this new channel. And of course, I've already deleted the old channels. And because it's not a monetized channel, they don't really know what to do with it. If it were monetized, they would delete the things and delete the monetization and so forth and so on. But they really don't know what to do with this channel because it's not monetized, or it never will be. Anyway, and so I can't say it never will be. But none of my other stuff ever was. And so this is part of the change that's taking place in our society today. And it all has to do with economics. I think I've successfully driven that point home. And of course, we're trying to keep these under 15 minutes, and I'm halfway there now, and so I got to start talking really fast. No, I'm not. I'll just post a whole bunch of videos. I'm old. So, my thought process is slower than it used to be. Of course, I was never really very quick. But anyway, so there's nothing to economics. All it is you have a personal economy, you have a family economy, you have an extended family economy, you have a neighborhood economy, you have a city economy, you have a county economy, you have a state economy, and of course, you have a United States economy. And all it is tracking the goods and services of the entire population, and how that is converted into the currency. You see, because the currency, or money, is a store of labor. In other words, you work for somebody and you get paid, or your parents pay you an allowance. Instead of bartering for that work, you get the currency. Society sets up in their economy a currency that's accepted amongst your entire collective, whatever that group is, whether it's a state or whether it's the federal government in the case of the United States. But originally it wasn't, it was state to state, and each state produced their own currency. So, and so now you have a store of labor that you can spend to buy a multitude of products and services, spread throughout society. And that's all there is to it. Of course, it gets complicated, just like everything else. The bigger the economy becomes, the more complicated it is, because there are more variables involved. I've heard a lot of different ways of explaining the economy, and my way is different than somebody else's way, and so forth and so on. But simply, your economy is the money that you make by providing a good or a service to an employer in the form of labor, is converted to currency. You're paid in the currency, money, dollars. And then you can stick that in your pocket, and you can spend it at the grocery store, or you can spend it at the clothing store, or you can spend it hiring someone to do something for you, or you can spend it to buy a car, pay your rent, do whatever. And that is your personal economy. Your family economy has to include all of the members of your family. Your extended family have to include all of your relatives and so forth and so on. Your neighborhood economy uh, is extending to all of the families that live in your neighborhood. So you can see now at this point we're including a lot of people, so there has to be a collection of data. And when you get all the way up to the federal level with 2 million employees who are supposed to be doing all of this data collection and so forth and so on, you see the federal government has only one source of revenue. They do not provide any kind of a product. And their source of revenue is taxes. So they tax the people, and in return, they provide for whatever they say, whatever they decide. In other words, they provide national security with a standing army, and your taxes pay for that. They provide for a central collection point for your taxes, the Internal Revenue Service, and you pay for that. They provide for representation of your states in the form of a House of Representatives and the Senate, and you pay for their salaries from your taxes. And then, of course, there are all the different departments and so forth and so on. So it's important to understand the fundamentals of economics. It's funny that even economics majors in college, especially some of the people in the legislature, have no clue about economics. And I'll explain that to you and why it's like that, so that you can get a grasp on the basic economics of your particular interest, whether you're interested in knowing why I don't want to get this deep into it. But what it, excuse me, I must have the coronavirus, huh? I'm just kidding. I'm making fun of this stuff because it's nonsense. And history will prove me correct after they're done taking all our freedoms away and seeing how many people comply. You know, I got wires all over the place. I can't do it. You know, we'll see who complies. At Walmart and Kroger's, you got to comply today. Anyway, I don't even know if this video will even make it onto YouTube. This new YouTube channel. The problems that I've been having getting videos on there. And I know it's all discombobulated and all that stuff, but it'll all make sense to you in the next video. We'll go over, the very fundamentals of economics. But before I leave this video, there are basically three different types of economics. There's a demand economics. There is a social economics, and there's a capitalist economics. So it's a free market economics that our country was founded on, and we've moved into more of a demand type of economics where the government is telling us what we have to do and how we have to do it and how much we have to spend and how much we have to pay them. And you see, this is the transition that all societies go through throughout all of history. And we're entering a new phase of economics in the United States. And that's what all of this is about. All of this is about the new phase of our economy. So stay tuned. We'll see if this one gets published. If it does, I'll come right behind it with the basics of economics. Okay, so that's all I got for this time. So until next time, toodaloo.